Yo, what is up guys? You got Kotab here, and I'm bringing you a battle using the same team that I used in the OU session that is going on right now on my channel. If you want to see the first part of that OU session, check the link in the description. It will take you right to that video. And then you can watch the next parts as they come out, or if you're watching this further down the future, when they, like, you can just watch them, I guess. So, anyway, we got this team here. Just to go over the team real quick, in case you missed it. Basically, this is just a standard balance team I decided to do. Since I'm coming back to Pokemon after such a long break. I'm still pretty rusty. I make some mistakes in this game that probably I shouldn't have made, but it ends up being a really good and actually really close battle. You'll be surprised what happens. So anyway, my team here, I got a Mega Gardevoir with Max Attack, Max Speed. We have standard Stealth Rocking Clefable. We have standard Pivot Rotom Wash. With Choice Banded Scizor, something that I like to use. I've found that it's not quite the best in this meta game. In fact, I kind of feel like switching it to something else. Maybe a Bisharp or a, I don't know, a Breloom, maybe? I don't know. Then we got a Zapdos, physically defensive. It's got a decent bit of special attack as well, so that way it can 2-hit KO Assault Vest Azumarill, which, now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't seen an Azumarill since I've been back, so maybe I should just change that. I don't know. Anyway, and then we got a Talonflame, which is a unique set that I kind of use with enough speed to outspeed base 110s with the plus speed boosting nature, and then max attack, and then the rest is in bulk. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into this match. First things first, the thing that I'm most scared of is actually the Bisharp. So I'm pretty scared of that, so I'm going to lead off with my Rotom Wash in case he decides to do something funny with his Dusclops or his Gliscor. Rotom can handle both of those, but he does lead off with his Bisharp, so I'm just going to go straight for a Will-O-Wisp. I don't want to mess with this thing. It can punch a hole in my team really hard. But he goes into his Dusclops, which is a smart move. So I end up burning that thing. I think I just end up going for a Volt Switch here. Yeah, I go for a Volt Switch because I don't really want to stay in on this thing, because it kind of is bulky and annoying, and it can do stupid stuff, and it makes me want to like blow up a bus of preschoolers. But I go into my Clefable, knowing that he can't really do anything to me, especially since he's burned, and he decides to Will-O-Wisp me, but I'm Magic Guard, so it doesn't really bug me at all. As he goes into his Bisharp, as I get up my rocks, and now I'm kind of scared. I don't really know what to do against this thing, and he goes for an Iron Head, which honestly I thought would kill me, but I really don't need Clefable for anything else. As he does end up getting the flinch, which kind of sucks because I was going for a Paralyze there, but oh well. I decide to save my Clefable for Death Fodder later and go into my Zapdos, as he decides to either predict a switch and go for an SD, or maybe he just figured it was a good chance to go for it. I don't know, but he goes for a Sucker Punch, and I just want to get this thing paralyzed. So I go ahead and do that, and I know he's going to Sucker Punch again, but I know I can live it, as I can get off a big chunk of damage with his with the Thunderbolt. Now here, something weird happens. I thought he would predict a Roost. That's what I would have done in this situation. I would have just went for a knockoff, or Night Slash, whatever these things do now. I don't fucking know. I would have predicted a Roost. He does not, so I do go for a Thunderbolt again, thinking that he would not go for Sucker Punch, but he ends up just spamming Sucker Punch, which honestly is the best play. You don't really have a reason not to. So he does end up killing my Zapdos, which kind of sucks. If I would have went for a Roost, I could have like scared him into doing Mind Tricks and whatever, but I go into my Rotom, he tries to Sucker Punch again. I think I could live one, so I really wasn't that worried about it, but him getting paralyzed there is actually crucial, as you'll see later. But I go ahead and kill him off with the Volt Switch and go to my Gardevoir, seeing as he doesn't really have anything to handle Gardevoir. Since Dusclops is at like half HP, I can easily take that out with the Hyper Voice. Gliscor doesn't really scare me. Goodra, I would have to 2-hit KO it because it's so bulky and it's probably Assault Vest. But everything else on his team, I'm pretty sure I can just like OHKO with a Hyper Voice. As he does end up dying to Hyper Voice and Hyper Voice. Why does that sound weird when I say that? It feels weird coming out of my mouth. I don't know why. I don't know. But he goes for an Ice Beam here, and I actually asked him in chat why he went for an Ice Beam, and he said it was because he didn't want to miss Hydro Pump. I guess he wasn't running Surf, which kind of sucks, but oh well. So he doesn't get off as much damage, and he was surprised that it only did 30%, and I was able to OHKO him, but Starmie doesn't pack as much of a punch as it used to. Things have gotten bulkier, and really you just rely on it for its speed. So here's a good chance for me to sack my Clefable. I figured, you know what, I'll sack this, and then I'll go into something else to get some damage off on it. So that way I can definitely, for sure, 100% knock it out with the Hyper Voice later. But he decides to go into Gliscor, and here I was kind of worried. But something in the back of my mind was telling me that he doesn't have Stone Edge. There's no way he has Stone Edge. This is Gen 6. This isn't Gen 4. This isn't halfway through Gen 5. They don't use Stone Edge anymore. So I'm just going to SD right in his face as he goes for Toxic. And I thought I would honestly kill him from here with the Swords Dance. But the Toxic Orb heal does a lot more recovery than I thought it would. It ends up, I'm pretty sure that was a roll. But he doesn't end up having Stone Edge. He has Fire Fang, so that's good for me, as I'm able to take out his Gliscor with 2 Brave Birds. Well, I guess 3 if you count the first one, but he goes for Protect. I knew he would do this. I thought about Roosting, but with the Toxic, it really wouldn't matter that much. Really, Talonflame isn't made to sit in here and stall. It's kind of made just to punch a hole in a team, take 1, maybe 2 hits, if it needs to, but I am able to kill him. He goes for a double protector. I don't blame him. If he got it, I still wouldn't really blame him because that was really his only option to combat this Talonflame, but Talonflame ends up dying. I decide to go into Scizor here to try to get a little bit more damage on stuff as he goes into Manectric, and he doesn't have the first Intimidate, which is interesting. If he did, I probably would have U-turned here, but I decided to just get off as much damage as I can, go for a Bullet Punch. Banded Bullet Punch does absolutely fuck all. Like, jack shit. Like, 25% on a Manectric? Those things aren't that bulky. Man. Trace Banded Scizor is coming far away. It's not as good as it used to be, but I'm going to Gardevoir here. As he goes for a Volt Switch, it was actually a roll on if I could live a Thunderbolt. It had, I think, like, it did between like 44 and 49%, and I was at 47, so it was like a 50-50 pretty much. As he goes into his Goodra, and I know I'm faster than Goodra, even if he's like max speed, I still outspeed. So I'm just gonna knock him out with 2 Hyper Voices as he goes back into Manectric so he can get the KO. He goes for Flamethrower, and actually I kind of thought maybe I could survive it based off the Volt Switch damage, but no, that doesn't end up happening. So I go into my Rotom, and I'm full HP, and this is where him getting paralyzed early on in the game really matters, because if he didn't get paralyzed, he could have hit me, and a +2 Sucker Punch would have taken me down well below 50%, probably, or would have left me with like 15%. So he goes for Thunderbolt, and I do end up living, and Hydro Pump, excuse me, does end up killing him, which I honestly was kind of surprised about. Like, Choice Banded Scizor, I mean, yeah, it's after an Intimidate, but I mean, it's still a Scizor. Bullet Punch only does 25%, but my Rotom does over half with a Hydro Pump. Oh, whatever. I mean, okay. But it ended up being really close. He played towards the end of that game really well. He played pretty safe, which is really what you need to do in a lot of situations. He knew that, you know, he knew his HP, he knew his damages, and he knew what he had to do in order to win, but his Bisharp getting paralyzed early on really made the difference, because he could have taken my Rotom down, and from then, he could have thunderbolted me there at the end and gotten the win. So that was a good game. His name was FriedChickenBob. I actually really like that name. So that was a really good battle. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to see the session that I do with this team, like I said, go in the description. It will be the first link. Check out my my Twitter as well. And also check out my YouTube partner, BentPixels, at BentPixels or BentPixels.com. Background music by Approaching Nirvana, they're also in the description. If you want to see all of my 6th Gen OU battles, that link is also in the description. Seeing a trend here, you should just go in the description. It's a good place to be. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later.